I had an odd girlfriend in my last year of high school. Now I know why. I remember her every day. She had beautiful blue eyes, long flowing black hair, the prettiest face I'd ever seen. When she arrived at our high school, I was instantly in love. So much so that it was really odd to me how nobody ever talked to the poor girl. Her name was Samantha Hopkins. She told us she was from Utah, and she had recently moved in with her parents. I remember it clearly because her voice seemed mesmerizing to me. She always had lunch in table 3. Absolutely nobody sat with her. It's kinda understandable since everyone's friendships were pretty settled at that moment, but still heartbreaking. It was my last year in high school and I hadn't found a girlfriend yet. I thought this could be my chance. So one day, I proposed my friends to go sit down with her. She seemed very happy when we all showed up. It was nice seeing her smile. So we became friends instantly. I asked for her number and we started texting and going out. She had the same likes as me, and I had the same likes as her. We went out at least once a week. Soon enough, we went out together almost everywhere. We were very, very close. One day, I finally decided to ask her out. I was certain she would say yes. I remember it clearly, 14th of January. She was staying in my house that night. We were watching a movie in my bedroom in the warmth of my small heater. I told her I loved her. She felt the same. I was so happy. We started dating. I did practically the same things with her, but now it was different. I couldn't even believe how happy I was. She was the perfect girl, and she said the same about me. I had just texted her a good night as she was feeling sleepy. I started thinking, I hadn't seen her parents yet, or even seen her house. I had asked her where she lived, just in case she or I ever needed it, but had actually never walked home with her since we lived in opposite directions heading out of school. I thought as her boyfriend now, I should probably do that chore. I figured she didn't talk about her parents that much because she didn't want to start that conversation. So I thought the next day I would start it. Not forcing her or anything, just see what she thought. So the next day, when leaving our school, I remembered to ask her. I asked if she would be fine with me meeting her parents. She said not yet. She wasn't prepared, and I understood. Maybe I had been too fast myself. That night, though, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I obviously didn't want to break her privacy, but thought it may be nice if I went to her house to give her a surprise. Maybe go somewhere close. In retrospect, it was a bad idea. I could at least have told her sooner, just in case she didn't want her parents to see me or something. I did go to the directions I remembered she told me, and I did remember them correctly. I thought otherwise since when I arrived it was just a bridge in the middle of town. Trucks passed loudly as I disappointedly stared at their reflections in the water. I went back home. Next morning, I told her. She said I must have remembered incorrectly, and I believed her. So I asked for them again, just in case she or I ever needed it. She looked nervous that day. She was hesitant, but finally told me I could walk home with her that day after class. We walked together. Again, she looked uneasy. I told her various times if she was nervous about her parents seeing me, I would turn around. But every time she said no. When we arrived to her home, it looked abandoned. It wasn't a pretty house. The facade was dirty. The roof was half destroyed. The door had graffiti all over it. The windows had no glasses. There was no mailbox. And she wasn't there anymore. It felt like a dream. I stood there silently like the day before. I really looked around. I opened the door and the interior was all walled up. I thought she may be pranking me. I tried to text her, but she didn't go online once. The next day, only a couple of people still remembered Samantha, but nobody knew where she was now. Some people said her parents had to move out with her. I chose to believe that, only because I didn't know what else could have happened. I chose to believe she broke up with me in that odd manner. But recently, I received an email from one of my high school friends. I'll just paste it here, so you can read it for yourselves. From Noah Carter. Hey Caleb, I'm Noah from high school. Remember me? It's been so long. Hope you're doing okay, bud. I certainly am. So, you're never gonna believe this, but now I'm working at a demolition company. and turns out we had a job close to our old high school. I'm emailing because after doing the job, a single untouched clean piece of paper was left on top of all the ruins. Remember your girlfriend at the time, Samantha? Well, I can't believe this either, but believe me, it's not a joke. This is what it reads.
Dear Caleb, I'm deeply sorry for leaving all of a sudden. I'm concerned because I don't know how it may have affected you. Still, I wanted to apologize. I didn't want you to know my secret. I had little time left. I thought before I went away, I would show you what you wanted. I didn't just want to leave without notice. I wanted you to be there with me. I still love you very much, and I hope we can get to see each other again. I can't wait to see how much you've grown. I bet you're still as beautiful as the day I met you. Thank you for making me happy. With lots of love, Samantha.
So I waited a bit until 5 a.m., lit the candle, and loudly but with an uncertain voice, I said, Samantha Hopkins! Samantha Hopkins! Now, what I'm about to describe, it's really hard to. Whatever I write won't truly represent what exactly happened. Still, I'll do my best.